Nung sinabi niyo pong uubusin ko kayo lahat, ito ba ho yung naging resulta kaya marami hong naging Ginoong Pangulo?
Literally, yes.
Kayo kasi, mga media ng Davao, pag may binabalita kagad nyo, Davao Quad, kayo ang nag-imbento ng term na yan.
Ang sinabi ko, ganito, prangkahan tayo, encourage the criminals to fight, encourage them to draw their guns. Yan, buhay yan. Ayan na sila, yan ang instruction ko. Pati yan si Kuy. Encourage, pati yan si De La Rosa, encourage them lumaban. Pagka lumaban, ninyo para matapos na ang problema ko sa siyudad ko.
Siguro napansin pati ng former president yung shock ng lahat. Bakit sir, yan ba ang trabaho ng pulis? Na ay ng mga suspected criminals?
Alam niyo,
Pabalikin ako, sir. Gagawain ko uli yan. Dublado.
Your Honor.
silence please. You were a very, very powerful member of the cabinet during the Aquino administration. You did not do anything?
It's not
To
that I
pursue
did
the
not
case?
do anything. I asked the NBI to pursue further.
Bakit mo po hinahayaan lang na walang report yung NBI sa'yo? You have instructed the NBI to follow up on this investigation. Tapos na lang yung buong year. 6 years of the Aquino administration. Hindi ka nakapag-file ng kaso kay President Duterte.
What they failed to appreciate, I'm talking about the committee report, is that the focus of my investigation ay yung mga dumadami na halos araw-araw na pinatay since day one of the former president's assumption into office.
I and I alone take full legal, moral responsibility. Yan ang iniiwan ko sa inyo.
Ladies first, Senator Laila de Lima, just in case you want to deliver a statement. Go ahead, ma'am.
Very short, Your Honor. Mr. Chair and the honorable members of the subcommittee conducting today's inquiry. We can destroy and we need to destroy drugs, but we cannot destroy lives. Yan po ang sagot ko dun sa very passionate defense of the former president as to his policy of killing alleged drug offenders, alleged drug pushers, alleged drug users. We can destroy drugs, but we need not destroy lives. I just wish to emphasize that. I said that in my privileged speech in August 2016 after I filed a Senate inquiry, a resolution calling for Senate inquiry. This man, the former mayor of Davao City and the former president of the Republic of the Philippines, for so long have evaded justice and accountability for the thousands of those killed in the name of the so-called war on drugs. Hindi pa ho natin siya napapanagot after all these years. And these killings had started nung time pa niya as mayor, yung phenomenon ng Davao Squad. Pinatuloy niya at nagiging klarado dun sa mga naririnig natin sa House of Representatives Quadcom hearings that yun din ang ginawang modelo ng war on drugs starting 2016. I was hoping that Colonel Garma and the others who already testified there at the Quadcom hearings, including also Kerwin Espinosa, would be here so that, our discussions, our presentations would be in sync with each other, or that we listen to them again and then I will respond to them. Now, I responded to the crisis that we faced starting in 2016, as I said, by filing the resolution and by delivering a privileged speech. Ang problema, hindi ko po yun natuloy. Yung aking pag-imbestiga noong mga nangyayaring yan early on dun sa nung naging Pangulo si Rodrigo Duterte. Malungkot po ako, or actually I have mixed feelings now. People have been asking me, how do you feel that you're again appearing before the Senate for the first time? I'm setting foot in the premises of the Senate. Ang sabi ko, mixed feelings dahil sana nga noon pa hindi na natin hinintay yung libo-libong mga Pinay. Pero nagagalak naman ako that I think we have the right environment now. Sana po marami pa ang lumantad para magsabi pa kung ano talaga ang tunay na layunin ng Project Double Barrel. Yung kulang ho kasi noon, nung nag-imbestiga ako, when I presided over the Senate committee hearings, yes, we were able to present, actually, konti lang, 2 lang ata out of the 13 available CHR witnesses. But because I was eventually ousted as the chairperson of the committee, after I presented Mr. Edgar Matubato, hindi na po yun natuloy. Pero, ang talagang magiging kulang ng investigation na yon ay yung mga insider na makakapagpatunay sa atin na yung Project Double Barrel is the very program that was used in eliminating and in killing drug suspects. Because malinaw sa mga naging pronouncements ng dating mayor, ng dating pangulo, na yan ang pinaka-polisiya na niya in addressing the drug problem. Nasabi na ho kanina, yung mga examples, at marami pa ho yun. I have a whole collection of his statements, which really categorically show very clearly, manifestly, that he was inducing, encouraging the killings. And it cannot just be purely rhetoric. Kasi sinunod yung mga binanggit niya. Sinunod yung kanyang mga sinasabi na kailangang patayin ng mga yan. Manlanlaban man o hindi, ang problema sa nanlaban, hindi ho kapanipaniwala. Siguro may ilan-ilan na may mga nanlaban talaga. Pero sa karamihan sa mga lumabas na mga kwento ng mga kaanak ng mga biktima, ay karamihan sa kanila ay hindi nanlaban. Ano ba yung nangyari sa akin? Hindi lang sila nakontento na alisin ako bilang committee chairperson, but sinundan po ako ng katakot-takot na acts of persecution. Kasama na yung halos araw-araw na minumura, halos araw-araw na pinapahiya, halos araw-araw na I was deprived of my honor, and because they tried to destroy my reputation. At hindi pa ho sila nakontento doon, nag-file sila ng mga gawag-gawang mga kaso para subukan ako na mapatahimik. Hindi po sila nagtagumpay doon. Kahit nasa loob po ako sa kulungan, I continued to monitor what was happening. I had with me already the records ng Senate investigation, at least nung ako pa yung nag-preside. I even filed and submitted a comprehensive dissenting report doon sa naging majority report by the committee, the Gordon report. I filed a dissenting report. I also had the records of my investigation of the DDS phenomenon. Pero ang isa pong ang pwede nating makita doon is that hindi natin mga natapos yun kasi nandyan yung atmosphere of, or the atmosphere of fear, the culture of fear and impunity. Sa Davao, meron kaming ilan-ilan na kausap na sekreto, pero hindi naman sila pumayag na i-present sila publicly dun sa DDS inquiry ng CHR. Now, dun naman sa Senate inquiry, sabi ko nga, hindi naman talaga tinuloy. Kaya hindi kagulat-gulat na yung naging conclusion ng majority is that the killings were not state-sponsored. Kung binigyan sana ng pagkakataon na talagang ituloy yung investigasyon na yon, na mas magiging seryoso ang investigasyon, wala man lang iniisip na whitewash ng investigasyon because the then president was still at the height of his power, ay siguro pwede natin na-prove yun. Hindi nga po yun nangyari. Ngayon tayo umaasa na dahil dyan sa mga lumalabas na ng mga revelasyon, pwedeng-pwede At nandyan na yung mga ebidensya na mga state-sponsored yung mga killings na yan. So, one last point,
Ma'am,
Mr.
go ahead.
Chair,
Yeah.
because
1 minute, yes, ma'am.
all right. Now, gusto ko sanang magpaalam sa committee that in my presentation, not today, because yung presentation ko dapat na ano rin, isusundan ko yung kina Father Flavi and then kay Attorney Jokno. Now I want also to present new angle. Gusto ko sanang i-tie pa talaga, i-link pa talaga sa DDS case yung mga nangyaring since 2016 or pagpatay under the name of war on drugs. I would wish to ask for permission that that's going to be the focus, especially so na lumilinaw ngayon, sinimulan na nung testimony ni Colonel Agarma na yun ang ginawang model. I would not have the time now to really explain all of that, but I can really come up with a comprehensive summary ng mga sinabi noon nila Edgar Matobato, yung mga sinabi subsequently ni Arturo Las Cañas, who at first denied that there was a DDS, denied responsibility for the killings, denied that it was then Mayor Rodrigo Duterte responsible for that. But in a subsequent appearance, wala na po ako noon, nakakulong na po ako, he recanted and gave us this very comprehensive story, lalo na dun sa kanyang ICC affidavit. I would want to
Sige, ma'am.
present
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
a
Can you
comprehensive-
wrap up? Okay na po, ma'am?
for now.
Okay, sige po. Ganito po. We will give you the time, pero pwede ba mag-request din ng committee, can you give us a preview of what you will be presenting? Siguro if you can organize also your observations and your findings in a memorandum or position paper type document, then
I will
please
do
give
that.
us. Thank you.
I will do that, Your Honor,
Sige.
including the dissenting report and then including
Thank you, ma'am.
all of the observations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair.
Mr. Chair, just very short. Very
yes,
short.
yes.
Can we have the assurance of Senator De Lima to be around once Kerwin Espinosa and Ronnie Dayan will be present in this hearing? Because I'm going to ask him questions pag andyan na yung
Who is,
dalawa, Mr. Chair.
may I know who is Rolly Dayan?
Ronnie Dayan was a known driver of Senator De Lima, Mr. Chair.
Is
Sige.
he the partner of Senator De Lima?
Mr. Chair,
That was revealed by Ronnie Dayan during the previous hearing many years ago, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Let's focus on our topic. Okay, gentlemen. Okay, sige, ganito. Already moved na yata yung kanina pa, no? Na Ronnie Dayan will be invited to the next hearing. Senator Laila De Lima has manifested her intention to attend the next meeting. So, the next hearing. So, tugma-tugma lahat.
Yes, Your Honor, because
you want to
that's
respond?
where
Sige.
I will make a
Yes,
comprehensive presentation and also comment on those revelations by Mr. Kerwin Espinosa
Yeah.
during the Quadcom, and perhaps he is expected to reiterate that here. I was hoping he would be here,
Yes.
including Colonel.
You will be there as a
Ram.
resource person, ma'am. You'll be there as a resource person, not to defend yourself. Wala, hindi resource person po kayo. Okay,
Mr. Chair, if I
okay
may.
sa Senate
Thank you,
President.
Mr. Chair. A few questions addressed to former Senator De Lima. During your time as chairperson of the Commission on Human Rights, when did you start serving as the chairman of the Commission on Human Rights, if I may ask?
I was appointed in 2008
Up to 2010.
to 2010.
All right.
When I was appointed as the Secretary of
All right.
Justice.
Did you conduct investigations regarding EJKS?
Yes,
Madam
the CHR and bank
All right.
conducted a public inquiry right
Right.
there in Davao City.
May I know kung ano-ano po yung mga lugar na inimbestigahan niyo tungkol sa EJK?
Yung tungkol pa sa lugar, it was actually the entirety of Davao City because of the phenomenon of DDS. At inimbitahan nga po namin the former mayor who appeared and acted as resource person, and mga ilan-ilan na mga opisyal, maraming opisyal actually, the city councilors, barangay chairman, PNP officials. Only that, halos wala na nag-appear dun sa mga nakausap namin discreetly, confidentially, who shared their knowledge about the DDS. These are also self-confessed DDS members just like Edgar Matubato. Kaya lang po, in the 2009 inquiry, wala pa po sila Edgar Matubato and Arturo Las Cañas. Na-mention yung mga pangalan nila, pero wala pa po sila doon. Hindi pa ho namin sila na-access at hindi ho na-present doon sa DDS inquiry.
So wala ho kayong results ng investigation. Were there any cases filed because of your investigation, Madam Senator?
Okay, when I was appointed in 2010, meron po ako yung aking mga personal investigation notes, pero wala pa ho yung naging resolution. Now, we turned over the records to the Commission on Human Rights, and then later, they came out with the resolution. Now, that was, I think, in 2012, June 20, 2012. Yung resolution nila, one of the recommendations is for the filing of an administrative and criminal cases against then former Mayor Rodrigo Duterte and some other officials. What I know is that this was referred to the office of the Ombudsman, but I think later on, Mr. Duterte was cleared of there was no finding or no cases filed.
So the former president
against-
was cleared? Am I
No,
correct?
it was not really cleared because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the main reason why no cases were filed with the Ombudsman against former Mayor Duterte and then President Duterte is that
If you-
nung linabas na po yung from the Ombudsman is he was already the president.
Well,
So on
during,
the presidential immunity.
in the course of your investigation, when you were CHR chairman, and you thought, and then you think that the former president was involved in his hometown in Davao, why didn't you file cases against him?
The investigation was conducted, but the problem was that those who were in the know, yung konti ho na mga self-confessed DDS members at that time, they're not willing
No.
to
When
testify.
when you were DOJ secretary, why didn't you file a case against the former president? You had all the means, you had all the power to do so. When you were secretary of the Department of Justice.
I actually referred the matter of when Edgar Matubato came to us for witness protection. Rinifer ko po uli yung the DDS matter
So what
to
happened?
the wala po. Wala
bakit
po.
wala? You were a very, very powerful member of the cabinet during the Aquino administration. You did not do anything?
It's not
To
that I
pursue
did
the
not
case?
do anything.
To pursue
it's
the
just
case?
that I asked the NBI to pursue further the investigation. Pero wala na po na i-submit sa akin na report. They were telling me that they had also so much difficulty accessing possible witnesses at the time.
All right. One more thing, Madam former Senator. Why is it only in Davao that you had this investigation? Bakit Davao lang? Why were you so focused and why are you so concentrated in investigating Davao?
We were focused on investigating the so-called DDS phenomenon because we have read some reports about it, foremost of which was the report of the UN Special Rapporteur Philip Alston. And he did come out to that report citing certain findings of the UN Special Rapporteur Philip Alston. And meron din pong report, yung Human Rights Watch, they called it You Can Die Anytime, also referring to the DDS phenomenon. So we felt that at that time, because of these reports, and our CHR regional office did confirm that there were cases, but they could not tell us, or they refused to tell us that it was actually the doings of the DDS on orders of then Mayor Rodrigo Duterte. But the insiders, the ones I mentioned kanina, I think there were 3 of them, which we interviewed secretly or discreetly, they did say that there was such a thing as a group as a Davao squad, and then formed by the former mayor and then getting orders also from the former mayor, something that were validated later on by Edgar Matubato and Arturo Las Cañas.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I would like to invite the attention of the former senator when she was still a sitting member of the Senate with regard to the committee report of the Committee on Justice then. For the years, if I may read, for the years 2001 to 2009, under the Arroyo administration, 91,762 killings were reported, or an average of 10.196 killings per year, 850 killings per month, or 28 killings per day. On the other hand, for the years 2010 to 2016, under the Aquino administration, there were 85,878 recorded killings, with an average of 14,313 killings per year, 1,193 killings per month, or 40 killings per day. You were the Justice Secretary during the Aquino administration. Why did you not investigate these killings?
All right. May I start by saying that on the matter of EJKS in general, especially with respect to the killings of activists, I did recommend, and it was adopted. There was this Administrative Order number 35, creating an interagency committee to look into the various drug killings, to the various activist killings, targeting members of progressive groups, leftist organizations, and that was somewhat rampant during the time of former President Arroyo. Now, bakit wala pa po yung drug killings? Kasi nga po, pinapapursu ko pa sa NBI. It was not the real focus then of Administrative Number 35, which is the Special Interagency Committee to address extrajudicial killings. Now, talking about the Gordon report, you mentioned the Justice Committee report, which was subsequently headed by former Senator Dick Gordon. Sinabi nga niya po yun na bakit yung EJKS lang, bakit yung ibang mga EJKS ay hindi natin kailangan imbestigahan o hindi natin inimbestigahan dun sa Senate Committee. Mukhang may problema po sa ganun. Kasi ang nakita ng committee, ng majority committee in coming up with that committee report is that, well, hindi actually nila nakita na may special complexion at the time. At the start of the drug war case, beginning 2016, under the Duterte administration, I'm not talking about the drug war case, kasi wala namang ganong war on drugs specifically in Davao City, although among those, or many of those victimized, were also alleged drug offenders aside from petty criminals and other kinds of criminals. So, nakita dapat yun, and that was the very point of my resolution that I filed calling for an inquiry na medyo ibang fenomeno nito ngayon sa war on drugs, na ito sa ngalan ng war on drugs ay may mga pinatay in numbers, substantial numbers, in the name of war on drugs. Kaya dapat, hindi yun naging issue talaga. Bakit hindi na lang natin imbestigahan yung buong mga pangyayari ng mga case in various administrations? What they failed to appreciate, I'm talking about the committee report, is that the focus of my investigation ay yung mga dumadami na halos araw-araw na since day one of the former president's assumption into office, and even before his official assumption into office, meron na talaga na mga pinatay araw-araw, halos araw-araw, nakita natin yon.
Thank you, ma'am.
So that's supposed to be
Mr. Chair.
the focus.
Ma'am, teka muna, Senate President Pro Tem. No? Reminder to everyone, especially the members of the committee. Ang subcommittee natin, ang instruction natin, Philippine War on Illegal Drugs. Okay. I know malaking overlap niya sa EJK because marami siguro ngang in the name of Philippine War on Illegal Drugs. But this is not strictly an EJK hearing or investigation. Okay? Basta klaruhin ko lang po sa inyo lahat, lalo na sa members na subcommittee. May mother committee tayo. Yun ang instruction sa atin. Investigate the Philippine war on illegal drugs. Okay, so if I may continue.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can you extend that statement of yours to all members of the Senate? Because I'm not a member of the committee yet.
No, you will be.
So I was just
You will be. I mean,
I was just making a to ensure that all members
yes.
are oriented properly, Mr. Chair. Thank
Mr.
you,
Chair.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to wrap up my questioning to
Yes.
Senator De Lima, but I would like to put it on record that the resource person, the former senator, did not answer directly my question, Mr. Chair. And I might be mistaken of defending the former president. I am not defending the former president. In fact, if it is his turn to answer questions, I will ask questions also.
Darating pa tayo. So, anyways, Senator De Lima will be present in the future hearings. Yes, Senator Risa?
Hello. Yes, salamat kayo, Mr. Chair. Just a brief manifestation. Kanina mention was made of a resource person na iimbitahin din natin to the next hearing and a personal detail about that resource person. Gusto ko lang i-make off record na it is already common knowledge na dahil isang leader, si Laila De Lima, nung siya ay senador at siya ay babae, wineponize talaga yung batas laban sa kanya in the most sexist and misogynistic way. Lalo na sa, unfortunately, at that time, yung kabilang house. So, I look forward dun sa ipepresent niya sa komiteng ito, Mr. Chair, yung kanyang pag-aaral, comparison, nung napag-alaman, nung CHR, nung siya ay chair, tungkol sa mga extrajudicial killings sa Davao City, at comparison nun sa nakita nilang ng komite niya dito sa Senado na case panahon ng war on drugs. And I look forward na hindi natin papayagang maulit yung pambabastos na ginawa sa kanya, lalo na sa kabilang house noon, at sa online trolling na ginawa laban sa kanya bilang isang leader at bilang isang babae. Just for the record, Mr. Chair, with full confidence that our committee, subcommittee, and our Senate will uphold that. Daghang salamat, Mr. Chair.
Senator Bato de la Rosa?
Yes, Mr. Chair. First of all, I just would like to be clarified because the beginning of the hearing, you told us that Senator Joel Villanueva is being appointed by you as the vice chairman of this subcommittee. So therefore, he's a member of this committee. He's claiming to be not.
No, he will be a member. Everything will be fixed, Mr.
Thank you.
I'm willing to
Mr.
be
Senator.
questioned by Senator Bato, Mr. President.
No.
If there's any question that he would like to
we will
raise.
fix everything.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Chair, I just would like to put on record my observation in this committee hearing that in this committee hearing, our resource persons are given even 10 to 15 to beyond the 15 minutes time to speak up. Unlike what happened in the Quadcom in the lower house, wherein kawawa ang mga pulis na ginawang resource person doon. This question is answerable by yes or no. Yes lang or no lang. No more explanation. Pero dito, Mr. Chair, we are treating our resource person with dignity and respect. So I just would like to put it on record, Mr. Chair. And sa follow-up to the question of our Senate Pro Tempore to Senator De Lima, Mr. Chair, isn't it a fact that NBI is operationally and administratively under the Department of Justice?
It is.
Yes. So if it is, if you are morally convinced about the wrongdoings of the former mayor of Davao City about these killings, bakit mo po hinahayaan lang na walang report yung NBI sa'yo? You have instructed the NBI to follow up on this investigation. Tapos na lang yung buong year. 6 years of the Aquino administration, hindi ka nakapag-file ng kaso kay President Duterte. Is that malfeasance on your part as that Secretary of Justice wherein you are morally convinced na may ginawang masama si Pangulong Mayor Duterte? Tapos ngayon, hinayaan mo lang NBI na walang ginawa, walang binalik na report, or baka sinabihan ka ng NBI, ma'am, ang ating kaso will not stand in court. Baka ganun sinabi sa iyo. Kaya wala na nangyayari doon sa ginawa mong tasking sa NBI.
Can we
Your
request
Honor.
for a brief answer, ma'am?
My brief answer is that I did make some certain follow-ups, and there was reports from the NBI, verbal reports, when I asked about them and that what would they tell me, that nahihirapan sila na mag-access sa Davao na mga possible witnesses.
Can I have the name of the NBI chief during that time na kinausap, na sinabihan niyo? Word lang.
NBI, Gier, was it Gier?
Paki-recall na lang, ma'am, and then once
Yes,
you recall,
I will.
tell us. Okay, nandito pa kasi ako sa time na I'm giving the victims the chance nga to speak out, to air. Okay, andito pa tayo. Dalawa na lang naman yung ang tatanungin ko. Okay, Mayor Mabilog, you want to say something? Pwedeng hindi, pwede meron. Nasa sayo.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, honorable members of the subcommittee on the Blue Ribbon Committee. First and foremost, gusto ko lang po sabihin na I was not and never will be a protector. I don't know personally nor did I benefit in any way from any drug personality in Iloilo or elsewhere. Naging kabataang barangay chairman po ako, city councilor, vice mayor, and mayor for 6 years. And kahit naging mayor ako for 6 years, kahit wala po akong formal training as mayor on addressing illegal crime or illegal drugs, wala pong training na ibinigay po sa amin. I took decisive action to combat the problem of the city. As a matter of fact, it was even recognized on the national level by both the PDEA and the police, PNP, in 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017. So, and as mayor in the beginning, as mandated by law, I am aware of my authority to set local policies and priorities related to crime and drugs. I'm also aware that the law that dictates that the PNP and the PDEA handle crime investigation and response and the combating of drug trafficking and enforcement of laws, while the mayor relies on the police and the PDEA to implement them. So until such time that my name was included in the list and until that I was granted political asylum by the United States of America government, and that's why I'm here, Mr. Chair, to, at the behest of the Senate, as a matter of courtesy to this institution, to answer the best of my knowledge questions related to the inquiry. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay. Last ko na gusto kong i-recognize ngayong hapon na is upon the request of Attorney Jokno, si Roger Herrero. Pero wala siyang affidavit. So ganito na lang ang request ko Attorney Jokno, can you prepare the affidavit of Roger Herrero? Give it to us before his actual appearance before this committee. I will give him time sa second hearing as a victim. Apa?
We will do that.
Kasi mabigat na storya po nito. Okay, so now,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
bago natin
Senator
iwan
Risa.
po yung salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair, before we leave the victim families, also for the information of the committee, nandito rin po kasama natin si Vincent Go, ng tinawag nila sarili nila night crawlers. Sila po yung mga photojournalists na dinocument yung EJKS all throughout the war on drugs. So available din po sila, Mr. Chair, to answer any questions of the senators.
Vincent Go, sige,
Vincent
Vincent
Go,
Go,
Mr. Chair. Salamat
can I
kaayo,
make the
Mr. Chair.
request to your organization, Night Crawlers, if you can make a 5-minute presentation sa next hearing? I expect na maganda mga pictures doon kasi I think you are photojournalist or the photographer. So, sa next hearing na po, Mr. Go, please organize your data. So, nasabi ko na yun. So, we will now go into the, questioning proper by the senators by order of appearance, but we give priority to our officers. But, ganito, wala kasi sila Colonel Garma and si Colonel Leonardo. But, since public knowledge na rin naman yung sinabi nila okay? Widely publicized na, I will allow questioning on those matters kung gusto lang po ng mga members ng committee. Okay, so sila former Secretary Panelo at saka former Secretary Belica invited by Senator Bongo. I can give you 3 minutes for opening statement if you want. Mr. President.
May I interrupt you?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, but I have to respond to the remark of Senator De Lima. It is only fair na bigyan niyo ako ng 1 minute. And I have read, this is part of my speech, but I want to make it of record. Ito yung the long and short sa trabaho ko. Nung mayor ako, pati presidente ako, is that the jobs, nung dalawang trabaho was never easy. And it was not meant to be. I have tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs and without compromise. kasali na lahat yung naririnig niyo. Whatever it is, hindi ako nag-compromise. Sinabi ko ito, pagka pumasok kayo dyan, walang compromise, walang ariglo, walang usapan. Do not do it in my city. Nung presidente ako, sabi ko, bitawan ninyo. Kasi pag hindi, magkakaroon talaga tayo ng problema. Ito na nga itong ngayon. As I've tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs firmly and without compromise. Yan ang gusto ko lang iiwan dito bago ako aalis. O bago ako alis sa mundong ito. For all of its successes and shortcomings, it was not a perfect one. Maraming mali. Baka may maraming alam mo, gusto ko lang iiwan ito sa Pilipino. I would never have any other chance maybe in the future. That for all of the successes and mali o I and I alone take full legal, moral responsibility. Yan ang iniiwan ko sa inyo. I am ready for your questions.
Thank you. So, okay, so I assume, Attorney Panelo, Mr. Belica, no more opening statement?
I have, Your Honor, please.
Sige, can we observe strictly 3 minutes? Yes, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I, Salvador Panelo, hereby depose state under oath that from July 2016 to October 2021, I was the Chief Presidential Legal Counsel of then President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. From October 2018 to April 2020, I also served as Presidential Spokesperson of PRRD. As Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, I provided legal advice to PRRD on various matters and issued statements providing legal support for the actions of PRRD and its administration. As Presidential Spokesperson, I spoke on behalf of PRRD on matters of public interest, actions, policies, programs, official duties, and accomplishments of his administration. In connection with the Philippine War on Drugs, which is the subject of the investigation and aid of legislation of the Committee on Accountability of Public Officers and Investigation, or the Blue Ribbon Committee of the Senate of the Republic of the Philippines. I had no participation therein apart from issuing statements on behalf of or in support of PRRD or responding to queries from the media on statements from PRRD on the matter in my capacity as Chief Presidential Legal Counsel and Presidential Spokesperson. During my tenure as Chief Presidential Legal Counsel and Presidential Spokesperson, and even thereafter, I did not observe or otherwise acquire knowledge of any malfeasance, misfeasance, or nonfeasance in connection with the war on drugs by any government official, including former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Senator and former Special Assistant to the President Christopher Lawrence Bongo, and Senator and former Chief of the Philippine National Police Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Specifically, I did not observe or otherwise acquire knowledge of any reward system for killing of illegal drug personalities, any orders to kill drug lords, or to implicate political opponents in the illegal drug trade, or any other illegalities alleged before the Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, Human Rights and Public Accounts, or the Quad Committee of the House of Representatives. From my point of view,
Can you wind up, sir?
yes,
Yes.
last paragraph.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
From my point of view, there was nothing illegal with PRRD's war on drugs because it was a legal and necessary response to the country's pervasive and destructive problem. PRRD merely complied with his constitutional duty, which is his prime duty, to serve and to protect the people. And his campaign promise and mandate to rid the country of the drug menace.
Salamat po,
Thank
sir.
you, Chair.
Yes. Thank you. At you submitted an affidavit. Mr. Belica, pero keep it within 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am Greco Belica, former Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission Chairman, and I am executing this sworn statement to comply with the directive of the Philippine Senate's Authority of Public Officers, an investigation subcommittee in relation to its motu proprio investigation in the aid of legislation on the Philippine war on illegal drugs. That President Duterte created the now defunct PACC through Executive Order Number 43, which was signed in October 4, 2017. That the PACC was created under the Office of the President to directly assist the President in investigating and or hearing administrative cases primarily involving graft and corruption against all presidential appointees as defined by Section 5 EO 43, and to perform such other duties as the President may direct. That on January 12, 2018, I was appointed as one of the 4 commissioners of the PACC and 1 chairman. Thereafter, in March 15, 2021, I was appointed as chairman of the PACC following the passing of my predecessor. And I left office at October 8, 2021 when I filed my certificate of candidacy to run in the election. That my previous position and function as well as jurisdiction of PACC did not extend to any investigations and operations on illegal drugs but mainly focus on investigation over alleged graft and corrupt practices by presidential appointees within the executive branch of government. That paragraph A, section 5 of EO 40 defined the scopes and jurisdiction of the PACC that states, the Commission shall have the power on complaint or motu proprio and concurrency with the Office of the Ombudsman to hear, investigate, receive, gather, and
Salamat po. Thank you. So now we will now commence with our questioning by the senators. Upon the request of Senator Bato de la Rosa, is there a Colonel Grijaldo here? Colonel Grijaldo, upo po kayo dito kasama namin. Wala, Senator De La Rosa will be the one to introduce him maybe when he asks questions too, directed to Colonel Grijaldo. Okay, pursuant to our guidelines, we will now commence the questioning. We will have to start with our Senate officers. So I now recognize Senator Jinggoy Estrada. You have 10 minutes, sir. 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Some questions addressed to the former President. Mr. President, kanina pa ho kayo tingin sa amin, hindi kayo, lagi kayo tumitingin sa kanan, hindi ho kayo tumitingin sa kaliwa. Nagpapansinan na ba ho kayo ni Senator De Lima?
Wala kada dyan, dito lang.
Anyway,
Mr. Chair.
to be serious, on a
Yes,
serious
Mr.
note,
Chair,
sir.
I think,
I beg
Senator
the
Jinggoy,
SP
Senator
Pro
Rizal,
Tempore to lead us in setting the tone that this is not a laughing matter.
Yes,
Salamat, Mr. Chair.
I was not joking.
I was just, para ma-lighten lang yung mood, Mr. Chair. Anyway, on a serious note,
Yes, okay.
Mr.
Continue.
President, how do you assess the campaign against drugs during your time, Mr. President? Do you consider it as a success, Mr. President?
Mr. Senator, it is a continuing problem for the country and for the entire world. The drug problem is a very serious and pernicious, virulent ailment that the country is facing. Panahon ko and the previous presidents, yung panahon ko, hindi siguro ninyo nagustuhan, not you, yung the entire country. I am addressing the entire country. Baka hindi ninyo nagustuhan. But yun ang style ko. Sinabi ko nga, I tried to do the best that I could. Kung nagkulang ako, pasensya. Pero ang solution during my time was a call of duty of the President. Ako yun. Kasi ako yung presidente sa panahon ko. At hindi ako nagkulang, Mr. Senator. Nag-warning ako lahat narinig ng Pilipinas. Huminto kayo sa droga. Bitawan ninyo, drop it. kasi magkakaproblema talaga tayo. Pag nakita tayo sa isang kanto at hawak mo ang droga, problema na talaga yan. So, yun na, nagkakaroon tayo ng problema. May yan. But it was not state-sponsored. There was never an official order to the police and the military and to the agents of government to kill. Andyan si Senator De La Rosa. Wala akong sinabi na ganon kasi abogado ako. Ang sinabi ko, yung sinabi ko nung nagtuturo ako sa Police Academy, that in your fulfillment of duty, yung elements of self-defense would apply to you pag you are trying to arrest a person. Alam mo, ang trabaho ng pulis kasi, pag sinabi mong aarestuhin kita, hindi hinto dyan. The police must arrest and overcome the resistance para madala mo yung kriminal doon sa istasyon at mabok mo para makulong. Yan ang problema at naawa ako sa mga pulis. Hindi mo masabi, bitawan mo yung baril at pag hindi sumunod, sabihin lang ng pulis, o sige, bukas makita tayo dito, huwag ka nang magdala ng baril. Hindi yun ang tinuro ko sa kanila. Nagtuturo ako sa Police Academy. Yan, lahat yan sila dumaan sa akin. Yan, because yan ang turo ng sa College of Law. That's the law. Kung ano yung sinabi ko sa police, batas yan. Walang compromise dyan when you are arresting a person. If he resists, pag ayaw magpa-aresto, you have to overcome him. His resistance. Ngayon, pag lumaban, nagkaletse-letse, may baril, may magpapyan talaga. Kaya yan ang problema ng police, kaya naawa ako. Kaya ako rin nandito, guns, siguro, paano na rin ng guns, God sent yung invitation ninyo. Naawa ako dito sa mga police na tinatawag ninyo at inaano ninyo, yung trabaho ng police kasi, involves personal contact. Walang trabaho sa pulis, sabihin niya, halika dito, bitawan mo yan, mag-surrender ka, sumama ka sa akin. It is always a confrontation, and if the other guy is armed, there will always be kamatayan or injuries.
Mr. President, if I may...
Yes, sir.
Kasi napapanood ko kayo sa TV, nung hindi pa ako senador, during your term, na meron ho kayo sinasabi, uubusin ko kayo, ko kayo. Ano po ibig sabihin? Sino po yung uubusin ninyo? Sino yung ninyo? Ito ba yung mga user, mga pusher ng illegal drugs?
Yes, sir. Lahat.
Hindi lang sa drugs?
Hindi lang, sir. Lahat po. When I was mayor, kalaban ko lahat ang criminals. Huwag naman yung mga ispa. Wala akong pakialam dyan. Yung mga tseke-tseke. Yung mga criminals sa Mindanao po, marami yan. At yung mga lawless elements doon, when they go on a rampage, they take over the entire municipality. I-hold na lang yung municipality, yung bangko lahat doon, at yung police hindi makagalaw kasi nakapalibot sila and there are civilians. And they cannot start a war because the civilians eventually will be in the process. Pati sila.
Nung sinabi niyo pong uubusin ko kayo lahat, patay ko kayo lahat, ito ba ho yung naging resulta kaya marami hong naging Ginoong Pangulo?
Literally, yes.
So, pero wala ho kayong inuutos sa mga dating chief of police ninyo, chief of PNP na pupay.
Warning lang na, istorya man lang yan, sir.
Chismis lang ho.
Alam mo, pagka mayor ka o presidente ka, pag sinabi mo, hoy, huminto kayo dyan, masama yan, illegal yan, walang mangyari sa syudad mo. Pag sinabi mo, okay, huminto kayo, patayin ko kayo. Pag hindi sila huminto, of course, the police would come in. Sabihin ko sa police, pag naghawak ng baril, ito yan sila, dumaan yan sa Davao lahat. Koy, pati, ito, si Danao, lahat yan sila, dumaan ng Davao. Ang order ko talaga sa kanila, pag maghawak ng baril, patayin mo na para one less. Bukas mag-usap na naman yan, may poproblema na naman tayo. Ganon rin sa
So, Ginong Pangulo, nung mayor po kayo ng Davao, do you confirm the existence of the Davao Squad?
No, sir.
Wala ho ang Davao Squad. So, ano po yung iniimbestigahan ni former Senator De Lima nung siya chairperson ng Commission on Human Rights? Ang iniimbestigahan po niya yung DDS, if I'm correct. Am I correct?
I don't know how the term was coined.
Senator De Lima, were you investigating the Davao Squad when you were chair of the CHR?
Yes, that was the
But
focus.
the former president doesn't confirm the existence of the Davao Squad.
That has been his position nung tinanong ko ho siya, nung nag-appear siya sa public inquiry. There's no such thing as DDS. But there are people, there are witnesses who said that there is such a thing as the Davao Squad. It may not be the correct term, or it may not really be or explicitly called the Davao Squad.
Who
But, euphemistically.
who coined that name, that phrase, the Davao Death Squad?
I think it was media, it was certain sectors, certain groups.
But it was not the CHR which you headed before, Madam Senator.
We knew it to be as the Davao Squad because of the various reports. But it did not originate from us, the term Davao Squad. What is clear to us is that there was this group of assassins, and some of them are actually part of the Davao City Police Office. And there are also the abanteros, the themselves, with respective handlers. And already, Mr. Matubato and Mr. Las Cañas...
If I may cut you, Madam Senator, may quick interjection on those, Senator.
Okay, our rules on interjection, ganito ha, I will have to ask the permission of the senator who has the floor if you want. And then, please limit it to maximum of 2 and very related to the topic that the topic we're discussing, okay? So,
Kahit one lang, Mr. Chairman.
one or two. Yeah,
One
yes,
lang.
you want to?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
Senator Risa Ontiveros is recognized.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair, and salamat sa SP Pro Tempore. Very quick, at the proper time, and this is related to the line of questioning of the SP Pro Tempore right now. At the proper time, I will ask the Chair's permission to play a never-before-played video that precisely talks about the Davao Squad, exactly related sa line of questioning ng SP Pro Tempore at this moment, Mr. Chair. Salamat,
May isa pa.
SP Pro Tempore.
May isa pa.
Salamat
If
kaayo,
you-
Mr.
If you
Chair.
permit it.
Okay.
Senator Bato. Yes.
Senator, may I
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
interject? Lahat itong sa right side ko, dumaan ito ng Chief of Police, Police Director. Puro commander ng squad yan.
I thought there was no existence.
Trabaho ng pulis yan. Literally, hindi mo sabihin ng squad. Yung isang senador, yan ang nakaupo dyan, si Senator De La Rosa. Squad rin yan. Because they were police directors handling the controlling crimes in the city. So, pag sinabi mong squad, it's a very loose term na ginagamit mo lang parang gano'n sila. Lahat yan sila, ito, si Danao, ayan o, nagdadasal kasi sa kasalanan niya siguro. Magkano bang, ilan bang pinay mo? Dumaan yan. Ito, De La Rosa. Tanungin ko sila ngayon, tanungin ninyo, openly lahat yan dumaan pagka-police chief, pati yan si Gamboa. Tanungin ninyo, Danao, kung may utos ba ako na ninyo yung tao na nakatali yung paa, pati kamay sa likod, or assassinate them. Ang sinabi ko, ganito, prangkahan tayo, encourage the criminals to fight encourage them to draw their guns. Yan, buhay yan. Ayan na sila, yan ang instruction ko. Pati yan si Kuy. Encourage, pati yan si De La Rosa, encourage them lumaban. Pagka lumaban, ninyo para matapos na ang problema ko sa siyudad ko. Noong na-presidente ako, ganun rin sa command conference. Diyan sa Malacanang. Yan ang utos ko. Bakit ko pagbigyan important? Mag-criminal, they go after the innocent people. Mabutit na lang sana kung aakyat ng bahay, magnakaw, rin yung bata, rin yung babae, tapos kung ikaw ang mayor, how do you deal with the problem? Ano
Mr.
kaya ang tingin ninyo sa... Hindi, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm sorry to express to the nation. Unforgiving ako, hardliner, alam nila yan. Pati police alam nila. They are not really siguro to talk about it. Sinabi ko yan sa mga police, na kayong mga police, pag pumasok kayo dyan sa droga, kayo ang mauuna.
Mr. Chair.
No need to strike it out if that is the real way that the mayor then phrased his sentence. Okay, Bre,
Can I just continue?
as chairman, Mr. President, fact-finding muna. General Gamboa, you were formerly Chief of Police of Davao.
Lahat yan sila.
Yes, answer. Yes or no? Yes?
No, sir.
No. Okay. General Danao, former Police Chief of Davao?
Yes, sir.
Okay. General Sinas, former Police Chief of Davao?
No, sir.
No. Catalino Coy, former Police Chief of Davao?
Yes, Your Honor.
How about Karamat, former Police Chief of Davao? Ah? Sa mic, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, para klaro. Okay. Sige,
just
Ako,
you
Mr.
have
Chair.
the floor, Senator.
Mr. Chair,
That's the floor. Okay.
Ako, hindi mo ko tanungin.
Yes. We need to ask
Chief
you,
of Police ako ng
Because
Davao.
alam ko chief ka ng police, but former chief
Yeah.
of Davao. Okay.
And Mr. Chair,
Sige,
kanina,
yes, he's
you allow
allowing
me
you. Sige,
short,
one.
short introduction. Mr. Chair, yung DDS, yung term ng DDS, siguro sa amin dito, Danao, General Coy, General Gamboa was never a chief of police but na-assign yan sa Davao sa Police Regional Office 11. Ako, assign ako ng Davao as City Director. At doon ako nagsimula yung career ko sa Davao City. Just this weekend, Mr. Chair, in-interview ako ng mga media ng Davao nung umuwi ako. And harap-harapan, sinabihan ko sila, kayo kasi, mga media ng Davao, kayo nag-imbento nung term ng Davao Quad. Pag may binabalita kagad nyo, Davao Quad. Kayo ang nag-imbento ng term na yan. Sabi ko sa media ng Davao. And later on, one of the media ng Davao, dinibunk yung aking statement. Sabi niya, sir, with due respect, bago namin yan na-create yung term na yan ng Davao Death Squad, meron kasing isang sir, may isang may nakalagay doon na placard na Davao Death Squad. Kaya doon nag-start yung paggamit namin ng term ng Davao Death Squad. So therefore, sabi ko, okay, I will correct my statement. Hindi kayo ang nag-imbento, but kayo ang nag-propagate ng word na yan. So yun na, lumaki na nagiging ginamit niya. Pag may bill, sabihin kagad, Davao Squad. Kahit na bill ng dahil jealousy ang motibo, or kaya malaking utang, nakadispal ko ng pera, bill, DDS kagad ang pinapalabas na term. So, yan na, lumaki na yung pangalan na Davao Squad, Mr. Chair.
Yan na po yung intervention niya po.
Yan, na yun na. Thank you.
Sige po, before I return the floor to Senator Estrada. Doon sa umami na naging chief, sino? Catalino Coy, naging chief ka. Danao, naging chief kayo. Do you mind or don't you mind having been called as the head of the Davao Squad by the former president?
I think he's just joking, sir. Pero kagaya nga po ng sinabi ng ating mayor, sir, in my stint of almost 3 years as the city director of Davao, wala po talaga yan yung sasabihin na wala pong ganun, sir. So it's just a matter of taking things on your hand. If you will take it literally, yung sinasabi niya sa media, kung ano yung sinasabi niya ngayon, sir, yun na yung sinasabi niya. Pero yung kamong sasabihin niya na, Danao, pakinggan mo sa ganito, there's no such thing, sir, na ganun. So walang ganong nautos.
Is there a danger that your men will incorrectly interpret what the mayor was saying?
Well, nung panahon ko, sir, as city director, I don't deny, sir, that there were some cases. Pero talagang ang tao ko, sir, ilan din ang na-hospital dyan. Even in my term as my regional director of 4A in NCRPO and MPD. On record yan, sir, nasa hospital. Hindi lang, sir, nasa hospital, kundi na yung pulis natin. So anong gagawin, sir, ng pulis pag ikaw ang nasa sitwasyon namin, sir? Are we going to allow just to kill the PNP there? So siguro, sir, maging emotional man tayo rito, sir, pero kami po mismo is nasa front line in enforcing the law. Pero there's no such thing as sabihin na pakin mo lang si ganito, no. Walang ganon, sir.
Sige. Can we hear from Catalino Cuy?
Thank you, Mr.
General,
Chairman.
yes, General.
I mind very much me being associated with the DDS because during that time when I was the city director of Davao, it was really a problem for us, especially the unsolved. Actually, we had a case in Ombudsman because of that, because of command responsibility. It is really a challenge for the PNP to investigate those cases because even the relatives of some of the victims refused to cooperate. And we believe also, and there was a suspicion that there were really some PNP personnel and even some civilian individuals who were involved in those incidents.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Senator Jingo, you have last 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You want something?
Yes, Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of the SP Pro Tempore.
Yes, Senator Risa.
Opo, Mr. Chair. Kasi siguro napansin, pati ng former president, yung shock ng lahat. Bakit, sir, yan ba ang trabaho ng pulis? Na ay ng mga suspected criminals? Sir, yung mic nyo.
Pag dumaban, bakit
Iba
sila
po yung pagka-express kasi kanina, so I had to clarify.
Bakit
Salamat,
sila-
SP Pro Tempore.
bakit sila
Salamat. No. Hindi yan ang tanong ko. Talagang napaka hindi magandang impression po ng mga statements kanina. Kaya I appreciate the candor of Yusek Kuy at pati kanina ni General Danao.
Look, ma'am,
about it.
may I
Salamat kayo, Mr.
interrupt
Chair.
you?
I'm done, Mr. Chair. for now.
Kindly.
Go ahead, sir.
Itong mga to, ma'am, galing ito ng mga sa Academy PMA. Hindi ito mga bubo. Hindi rin ito papayag na utusan mo ng illegal. Doon yan sa academy nila, sa PMA, they are from there to yung ano talaga yung batas. Kaya pag inutusan mo yan, sabihin mo, sir, mukhang hindi pwede yan, sir. I tried. Ako mismo, I tried. Ako, marami akong sir, kulong mo na lang natin, sir. Sabi ko siya, siguraduhin mo lang na hindi ma-relate. Kasi gagawa ng kalukuhan yan uli. And they will mag-hold up na naman yan. Yan ang lalo na yung mga kaso na mag-ikaw tapos mag-rape, tapos o
Mr. Chair.
Can we let the President complete his sentence? What were you trying to say, sir? That
Yes,
mag-rape, and then what do we do with them?
ganun na lang ang sadness ko sa trabaho ko.
Thank you.
Kaya hindi ko lang sinabi ko yan kasi hindi ko lang sila mautusan ng gano'n na gaya na sinabi ko, inanag-rape ng bata yung p***in mo. Hindi ko mautusan tong mga to. Sabi ko, karamihan sila PMA, hindi maniwala yan ganon. Sabi man, sir, mahirap yan. Kulungin na lang natin, sir. Walang dumaan yan sila sa... There was never a time na sinabi ko, ninyo yan. Minsan yung harap-harapan sa crime scene, nakita ko yung bata, 3 years old, tapos nandoon yung tiyuhin. Kung sinabi ko, patayin mo, out of outrage. In the moment of outrage yung... Sir, kulungin na lang natin yan, sir.
Ano nangyari doon, Mr. President? Yung insidente na yun, nga yung tito? Hindi.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Senator Risa.
Alam na alam ko po na matatalino mga taga-Philippine Military Academy. Hindi po yan ang issue. Ang kinaklarify ko po ay kanina sinabi nyo na in-encourage nyo ang PNP na i-encourage yung suspect na lumaban.
Yes.
Para ma-fight. para
Yes.
masabing nanlaban.
Correct.
Correct.
Para
That was a very
ma-minimize.
incorrect.
Correct, yes.
Very incorrect po, if I may
Yes,
say, as a
it's not
civilian,
a-
sa
well,
professional police.
It
Salamat
depends
kayo,
on,
Mr. Chair.
ano na natin yan, ma'am. That's your view, that.
It's not my
Hindi
view
ka
only, Mr.
dumaan
Chair.
ng-
Thank you for
hindi ka
putting it on
dumaan
record.
Pagka-mayor, pagka-prosecutor. Ako, alam ko, dumaan ako, prosecutor, mayor, presidente, alam ko ang trabaho ko.
Yes,
Yan
salamat
ang totoo
kayo, Mr.
dyan.
Chair.
Hindi ka nagdala ng syudad eh. You never
Totoo
had
po,
a
Mr.
chance
Chair.
to solve the problem of the community.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for
Senator
putting it on
Hindi
record,
tayo
Mr. Chair.
magkaintindihan dyan.
Senator Estrada has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
At
Alam
kung
niyo,
pabalikin ako, sir, gagawain ko uli yan. Dublado.
Your Honor,
silence please.
Osaa, silence the gallery, and those who will do that again, exclude them from the hearing hall.
Gallery, please do not encourage me.
Okay, Mr.
Stay
President. Okay, Mr. President, it's now Senator Estrada who has the floor. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
sir.
Alam niyo po, nag-mayor din po ako ng San Juan, kaya I know where the former president is
Marami
coming
ka rin
from.
siguro, sir, alam ko.
Mr. Chair, Mr. President, bibigyan ho namin kayo ng pagkakataon to air your side dahil nung napanood ko po yung mga revelations ng mga resource persons sa Quad Committee sa House of Representatives. Marami po mga revelations po ang mga naglabasan, katulad po ng kay Colonel Garma. Ang sabi po niya, she received a call from you sometime in May 2016. Can you confirm this, Mr. President?
Hindi ako tumatawag ng polis. Bahay? Yung sabi niya doon sa bahay. Hindi ko pinapupunta ng...
Before you assumed the presidency, you were still president-elect at the time. Sabi niya May 2016. So I presume you were still president-elect, Mr. President.
I do not remember
Calling her.
calling her. And for what? Yung presidente ako, nandyan na yung lahat nasa akin na
Ang sabi po kasi niya dun sa kanyang revelation dun sa Quad Committee, nagpapahanap din po kayo ng isang police officer na miyembro ng INC. Tama po ba ito? Yun po ang sinabi ni Colonel Garma ron sa Quadcom, sa House of Representatives, yun ang Pangulo.
I hate to say this, but nagsisinungaling yung Bakit ako mamili ng Iglesia ni Cristo? Di, yung mga aglipay, pati isali ko na lang. Yung Mormons. Why would I zero in sa Iglesia ni Cristo? For what reason?
Yun po ang sinabi ni...
Kaya, sir,
Opo.
I am just trying to in-explain ko kung bakit ako magpatawag ng Iglesia ni Cristo. Di, ipatawag ko na lang yung Mormons, pati yung aglipay. Trabaho nila yan, sir. Ako, Mayor Presidente. Wala akong pakialam kung anong relihiyon ninyo. Trabaho kayo dyan. Alam nila yan. Alam nila yan kung paano ko sila noon. Do not give me that shit to...
Mr. President, pero gaano niyo po kakilala tong si Colonel Garma? At kailan niyo po siya nakilala?
Saan ba ito nagka-problema itong babae na ito? Hiwalay ito sa asawa eh. Si
Niligawan
Bilila
niyo
ba
po?
yun? Oh, si Bilila.
Niligawan niyo po?
Sino?
Si Garma?
Kung wala na siguro akong ibang makita siya. Hindi sir, ganito naman. Hindi ko naman inaano, but alam mo kasi, pag tao ko, alam nila yan. Parang close mo talaga. Kasi ganun ako magtrato dito sa pulis eh. Ito sila sir, mabutit nandito kasi puro dumaan ito sila sa akin. Ganun talaga ako
Pero bakit ho siya nagsasalita ng nagbibigay po ng revelation do sa Quadcom na sinasabi nyo hindi po totoo na tinawagan nyo po siya noong May of 2016 at nagpapahanap po kayo ng isang police officer na miyembro ng INC?
Hanggang ngayon sir, it's a mystery to me. Bakit ko siya tatawagan at bakit ko sabihin sa kanya maghanap ng Iglesia ni Cristo na marami namang pulis sa Davao na membro ng Iglesia ni Cristo. why would I specify a person belonging to a religious sect when, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of policemen who are members of the Iglesia ni Cristo in Davao City? What would be the point of asking for a special person? Hanggang ngayon, sir, hindi ko nga mafathom. So sabi ko, well, I don't know, but it's a lie. Or making up stories. I don't know what she's driving at o ano ang gusto niyang
Motibo.
ipalabas sa at the end of the story.
Mr. President, kilala niyo ba ho itong si Colonel Leonardo?
Yes, sir.
Sino po ang nagrekomenda sa inyo na i-appoint po si General Leonardo? Kasi base ho rin sa testimonya ni Colonel Garma, siya yung nagrekomenda kay Leonardo sa inyo para i-appoint. Totoo po ba?
Wala, sir, kasi alam mo, I cannot create a unit sa police because we do not have that kind of authority now. Hindi ako pwedeng magtawag ng police dito, o sige, kayo ang unit and you are, you do this job. You have to clear it with the, at hindi papayag itong mga chief of police kasi meron yan silang organization mismo for drugs and for itong whatever, mga specialized narcotics, tapos itong mga smuggling. Hindi.
Kasi po ang testimonya po ni Colonel Garma sa Quadcom sa House of Representatives, tinuturo po niya itong si Leonardo na nagbibigay po ng reward money sa mga police officials na nakakahuli o nakakapatay po ng mga drug pushers. Gusto ko lang, at least you can air your side, Mr. President, kung talagang totoong may reward money o wala.
Sir, sagutin kita ng ganito. Bakit ako magbayad sa kanila? Trabaho mo nila yan. Kung may pera, bulsa ko na lang. If there is a fund for that, why would I give it to them? Trabaho nila yan eh. The best that I could minsan is pupunta ako. Iyaya ko yan sila na magkain. Or kung may mga problema sila na personal, alam mo sir, ganito yan eh. Yung police sir, maliit lang talaga yung sweldo. Maliit talaga, hanggang ngayon maliit talaga ang sweldo. Pag hindi pumasok ang local chief executive o city mayor at may problemang personal yung police, kaya ang asawa, sweldo, walang ibang puntahan yan ikaw. Pag hindi mo tinulungan ang police, sir, yung sweldo nila cannot cope up with the demands of mga problema. Minsan, yung tanongin ko, ilan ang anak mo? Nagsabi, alam nila yung estasyon. Sa estasyon nila, yung station commander sila. Tapos magtanong ako sa isang polis, ilan ang anak mo? Sabihin, 6. Sir, ito prangkahan. Nagagalit talaga ako. Sildo mo ng ganon, tapos sige ka, putin ko yung, ganon. Nandito man sila, sir. And you can ask them. Stricto ako sa kanila, pero kaibigan ko sila. Ano ako sa police, sir? Because pagka may problema sila, nandyan ako sa kanila. Pro-police talaga ako at matagal akong nagturo sa police academy kasi noong practicing lawyer ako, wala masyado akong kita kasi bata pa ako.